Ladies and gentlemen, UNC here. And you all know how this goes. When it come to the Green Bay Packers, when it come to a coach like Matt LaFleur calling out one of his young stars, oh, we gonna talk about it. We gonna break this down like film study in the Broncos locker room. Back when I had John Elway slinging me that rock. Because Tucker Kraft said something the other day at training camp that got people talking. And it wasn't just about fumbling. It was about respect. It was about leadership. It was about where this Packers team is going in 2025. So buckle up, put your seatbelt on, and let us take you through it. Training camp is always a little messy. Pads ain't hitting the same as Sunday afternoons. Coaches trying to set the tone. Players trying to win jobs. Rookies want to prove they belong. Veterans trying to keep their spots. And everybody looking around like, all right, who gonna be the dude this year? For the Green Bay Packers, 2025. Camp is buzzing. Jordan Love locked in as QBO, Matthew Golden. That rookie wideout making highlight plays. And the defense out here talking like they trying to turn Lambeau into a no-fly zone. But the story we talking about? It ain't the rookie. It ain't Love. It ain't even LaFleur's scheme. It's about Tucker Kraft. Now, let me stop right here. You'll remember how I've been telling y'all. Tight end is one of the hardest jobs in football. You block like a tackle. You run like a receiver. You take hits like a running back. And when you finally do something special, 9 times out of 10, nobody outside the fantasy football nerds give you credit. But Kraft different. He's a fan favorite. Folks up in Green Bay think he could be one of the best tight ends in the league this year. And what happens? Matt LaFleur step up to the mic and call him out for fumbling. Now let's not sugarcoat it. Matt LaFleur ain't wrong. Ball security is job security. If you a tight end and you cough up the rock, you might as well walk to the sideline and hand the other team 7 points. LaFleur's words to reporters, we all know what kind of player Tucker Kraft is and can be. He can't allow Evan Williams to reach around and punch a ball out. Hopefully that makes us that much better. Sounds clean, right? Sounds like coaching. But hold on now. Unc's got to point something out. This wasn't said in the locker room. This wasn't said in a meeting room. This was said in front of cameras. To the media. That's a whole different ball game. So Kraft hears this. And you'll know players don't like being called out in public, especially when they feel like the rules of practice make it unfair. Kraft said, there's certain rules you play with in practice, like just letting the defense punch repeatedly. You're not allowed to stiff arm. I guess all I have are excuses. I just play by the rules. I don't make 'em. And then he slipped in that little line. Light-hearted but spicy. That's just a yes, sir, no sir mentality with coach at this point. Boss fine in my opinion, whatever. When the man said, boss, he was really saying, yeah, coach threw me under it. That's a clap back, ladies and gentlemen. That's a young player saying, don't talk about me in front of the media like I am one of your guys. Now let me take you all inside the locker room for a second. I done played with coaches who call you out in meetings. I done played with coaches who call you out on the sideline. And yeah, I done played with coaches who let it slip in front of the press. But here's the difference. When Mike Shanahan called me out, it wasn't never to tear me down. It was to remind me, Shannon, you too good to let that slide. So what we gotta ask here is, was LaFleur challenging Kraft? Or was LaFleur covering for a defense that just embarrassed his tight end in practice? Because sometimes coaches play politics too. They got to pump up the rookie safety, Evan Williams. Remind the team about turnovers and send a message. Problem is, when you use Tucker Kraft's name to do it, you risk bruising the ego of a dude who gonna be a big part of your offense. Now let's step back. Green Bay ain't never been a team that lived and died by the tight end. But in today's NFL, you better have one. Look at Travis Kelce. Look at George Kittle. Look at Sam Laporta in Detroit, right in the division. Kraft got all the tools. He physical, he athletic, he's smart. Jordan Love trusts him. You think LaFleur really want to play around with that connection? Nah. Kraft gonna be on the field every Sunday, moving chains, scoring touchdown. And Kraft know this too. That's why he ain't gonna let one lil ball security critique slide without putting his side of the story out there. Best believe the locker room heard this exchange. Teammates joking like, "Yo, Kraft, hold on to the ball. Coach watching." Defensive guys ribbing him like, "Williams got you again, huh?" But deep down, players understand. They know when a coach making an example out of somebody. And they know when one of their brothers pushing back, standing up for himself. That kind of stuff matter. It builds personality in a team. It builds identity. Let me tell you all why this story bigger than just a dropped ball at camp. Because this 2025 Packers team is walking a fine line. They got a quarterback in Jordan Love who finally looking like that dude. They got young talent everywhere. They got a defense that want to be nasty. But they're also young. They're emotional. They got chips on their shoulders. And when your coach calls you out, and you clap back, even playfully, it reveals something. This team ain't just nodding their heads saying, "Yes, sir." They got voices. They got pride. They ain't scared to push back. That can either make them stronger or tear them apart. If I'm LaFleur, I pull Kraft aside. I say, "Look, I ain't trying to embarrass you. I was just making a point about ball security. I trust you. You gonna be a big part of this offense." Or, if I'm Kraft, I say, "Coach, I hear you, but keep that stuff in-house. I'll tighten up." Boom. That's it. Squash it. Move forward, because Green Bay ain't got no time for petty beefs. They trying to win the NFC North. They trying to make a Super Bowl run. And let me tell you why the league watching this. Because the Packers, for the first time in a while, don't got Aaron Rodgers drama hanging over their heads. They got a clean slate. But if the narrative start turning into LaFleur beefing with his players, nah, that's not what you want. You want headlines about Jordan Love bombs. You want headlines about Matthew Golden turning into the next star wideout. You want headlines about Kraft trucking safeties, not clapping back at his coach. So let me wrap this up the way I do on TV. Tucker Kraft ain't wrong for feeling some type of way. Matt LaFleur ain't wrong for demanding better ball security. But both of them got to remember the big picture. This Packers team is good enough to scare folks in 2025. But only if they together. Only if they build in trust instead of taking shots at each other in the media. Unjust prediction. This gonna be a funny little story we look back on when Kraft catching 80 balls and LaFleur drawing up plays to make him the next Kelce. But it also gonna be a reminder, words matter, tone matters. Public call-outs carry weight. So Coach LaFleur, next time keep it in-house. And Tucker Kraft, next time just say, "Yes, sir, I'll fix it." Then go out there on Sunday and stiff-arm somebody into the dirt.